Well, many families are taking a break this week during school holidays, but it's just as likely, like me, you're working all the way through. So if you are, it's important to be mindful of mid-year burnout. It's true. It's a real thing. So you've made it through 6 months of hard work. It's freezing cold. It's raining here. And the end of the year and the summer break feels miles away. And according to Mental Health First Aid Australia, 61% of Australian workers are experiencing some sort of burnout. That's pretty high. Global average is only 48%, and in Australia we've got 61% who are experiencing burnout. But how do you know it's burnout? How is burnout different from, say, feeling tired or feeling stressed? Well, Dr. Katrina Davis-McCabe is the president of the Australian Psychological Society, and she's on the line for us. Doctor, thank you so much for your time.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for inviting me.
How does burnout differ from, say, just being stressed or being tired?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think people often confuse it. Burnout is different. It's a state of total emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion. And it's because we've been stressed for too long. We've been dealing with prolonged stress. And it just leaves you feeling completely overwhelmed and emotionally drained. So what we often do when we're burnt out is we lack energy, but we disengage. We kind of stop caring about things. Stress is different because it's over-engagement, doing too much, but that leads to the burnout. So we kind of have to watch the stress to prevent it getting to that burnout.
Is there many of the symptoms of burnout can be the symptoms of depression too, right?
Well, yeah, and burnout can lead to depression. We have to try and prevent that. Some of the symptoms are around a lack of energy, being withdrawn. A lot of people will have issues with sleep and anxiety, but you know that it's burnout when you know you've been dealing with stress. It could be stress at work over a long time, but not only work, it can be life stress, family stress too. So it's about just recognizing, looking at what's been happening in your life.
It's hard to dodge stress, whether it's at work, whether it's at home. Just it's a byproduct of being a human being. What can we do to prevent burnout?
I think we have to look at some of the basic building blocks, I suppose, of good health, looking at getting enough sleep, eating well, exercising, and just managing stress. But I think when I think about burnout, I think, you know what, you need to put no in place. Put boundaries in place. Say no. Recognize when something is too much or how far you're willing to go or not. And just be really clear with people. Be honest with yourself and say no.
And is that just say, look, I've had enough, I need a day off today, or no, I'm not going to do that extra shift, or no, I'm not going to stay back a couple of hours because I'm feeling pretty ordinary?
Take a mental health day. A lot of employers now are really good with that. There's no stigma. There used to be such a stigma around mental health, but actually it's a positive thing to be aware of it and take a mental health day. Look after your mental health.
Is it especially difficult in the winter months this time of year?
Yeah, and look, we've seen an increase in people presenting with stress and burnout sort of across the board, and I think it's the dark nights. It's the end of the financial year. It's a long time now to a holiday, and all of that adds to it.
All right, Doctor, I really appreciate you coming on. Are you burnt out or are you going okay?
I'm going okay. Maybe I need a break.
I've just had 2 weeks off. I'm good as gold. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you jumping on.
Thank you.
That's Dr. Katrina Davis-McCabe, President of the Australian Psychological Society, 131873. Honestly, if you're feeling a little bit, blah, there's a whole bunch of things you can do. But if you go, you know what, I just need a rest today, there's nothing wrong with just having a rest. And I know employers, you can be made to feel obligated or bad or whatever, but in 2, 3, 4 weeks' time, no one's going to remember. But it's important. If you get a rest, that means you've got to get through to the end of the year. So there is nothing wrong with having a rest here and there. 131873.